Well, good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, and good morning, everybody. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to another episode of The Morning Glow. Welcome to another episode of The Morning Glow. Got a great broadcast lineup for you this morning. Um, Phone lines are okay. There we go. There we go. We got Captain Leonard back on here. Good deal. Got a great broadcast lineup for you this morning, and as we always do, hopefully, and we're gonna move forward. Captain Leonard, good morning. How you doing this morning?
I'm doing just fine, and you?
Hey, doing well, doing well. I'm hanging a happy elephant lady and porcupine proud.
It's a
He
good
said,
morning, Raheem, and the Morning Glow family.
yes, sir. Yes, sir. That's that. This is how we do. Oh, excuse me.
Uh-uh,
Oh,
uh-uh.
oh.
It's not. It's not how we do it. It
That
is
ain't how we
not
do
how we do
it. I,
it.
I thought we was on to something this morning. I thought we was on to something. I thought I was on that new train, on that new train. But look at, I want to say good morning. Also, the VP, good morning. How you doing this morning? Good morning, VP. We got a terrible connection with you, brother. Say, let me hear you say something.
Can you?
You're coming in and out on us just a tad little bit, just a tad little bit. Let's try it again. Yeah, yeah. Leno, are you hearing the same thing I'm hearing?
No, I'm not. It sounds clear to me.
It sounds clear.
To me, yes.
Oh, it's breaking up on my end for some reason. I don't know what's going on. Maybe my connection here. Yeah, but it's breaking up. It's kind of skipping in and out. But good morning, sir. How you doing this morning?
I'm glad to get this morning.
Yeah, I think that might be my end. I think that might be my end. That's pretty strange this morning. But we might have to, if we continue, we might have to shut the system down and bring it back up just to make sure that we have a proper connection. Because I think it might be on my end. I think for whatever reason it might be on my end here. But anyway, Leonard, what's going on, man? Let's talk politics. We got to get everybody up to speed on the political world before we jump into any topic today. So, any new transactions, anything new going on?
I wouldn't say new, but what I would say is one, we are in the period of people who need to re- uh, get ready to return to the polls to make sure that their candidate gets the vote in wherever there's runoffs. That's
Mm-hmm.
important. That's one
Mm-hmm.
of the things that has been a real big problem when it comes to voting is getting voters to return to polls in these types of elections.
Mm-hmm.
And remember, this is by design.
Yes, sir.
So
Yes,
we
sir.
have to defeat the strategy that was put in place to disenfranchise us.
Mm-hmm.
And that is one of those things is returning back to the polls to vote as well in these runoff elections. What we don't want to happen on a local level or a federal level is to completely give control to individuals that do not care about your interests.
Mm-hmm.
So we have
Mm-hmm.
to, remember that that is what is most important. You're not just voting just because you're voting for a particular reason,
Exactly.
and that's how you voice your opinion. The strongest is by going to the polls and voting for it. That's how you voice your opinion, even in smaller collectives in your local areas, in your churches, and things of that nature.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Is identify what is best for the masses in the community and go out and make that happen.
Mm-hmm.
That feedback just came back.
Yeah, yeah, I'm hearing it. What I'm gonna do, Leonard? Are you in a situation where you pull your screen up, Leonard?
No.
Okay. Well, what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna shut mine down. I'm gonna pull you back on screen here, so you'll be
Okay.
live, and I'm gonna shut the system down. So you take it, Leonard. It's gonna continue. So you take it. I'm gonna bring the system back. I'm gonna shut it down and bring it back up. Hold us down for a few minutes, Leonard.
Yeah. Once again, we said good morning to the Morning Go family. We hope you join in. We got my man Raheem attending to his technical difficulties. Hope we can keep it going here online. But definitely return to the polls in those various runoff elections in your area to make sure that your particular candidate gets the votes that they work so hard for, and to doing those things that are part of your interests. The larger agenda, and it's great to have a federal leader, the president, who does have the best interests in the majority of people in mind. The Build Back Better plan, which is always facing opposition in Congress, is pretty much that plan to build America back up. However, but making sure that the building is far more balanced as opposed to just delivering all of the resources to a small few people. One of the things I try to encourage people to understand is, for conversation's sake, you're looking at the TV and you going back and forth and you talking and you upset about politics and this, that, and the other. But what else are you actually doing to impact what is going on? We know that at a federal level, your vote is important when you vote to select the president, but you can also stay in the chain of information and constantly add your comments as well when they ask for them. You may want to actually listen to what the business of Congress actually is from time to time. We have all the resources to do that now. You can go on C-SPAN and all these types of things and get a direct picture of what is actually going on in Congress, what they voting on, and what's important to you, and try to tie that at your state, local, and even a city level. A lot of you went and voted for mayors in these particular cities. Follow up, send an email. Whenever there is opportunities available on discussion groups or particular programs that are created to make sure that the community stays engaged, take advantage of those committees and those types of things and those types of programs that keep you in the loop. Because remember, you may not be speaking for yourself. You may be speaking for your block. And it may be important that your block is represented when the city is talking about using funds to do various types of works in your city. One of the things I try to encourage people to do, if you have not done so yet, go online to your city's website. Usually on a city's website, they have a plan on how they see that city in the next 10 to 15 years. Look on the map and find out where it is where you live. What that'll help you do is that'll help you let you know, okay, what kind of infrastructure projects are coming in my area? Do I see the taxes going up? Do I see the value of my home going up? What's going on in the schools in your area? Are you happy with the local school board if you have children? We know right now we are constantly inundated with issues as they relate to COVID-19. Some people are definitely taking advantage of virtual resources for the kids to attend school. Like my child, he's attending school from at home through a virtual uh, paced program. And so we have kids that are also in the classrooms once again. A lot of be extra careful because some cities have definitely lifted their mask mandates. I know that particularly here in the state of Georgia, they lifted the mask mandate, which is really, in my opinion, a little bit premature, especially since COVID has not been eradicated or it's not at such a low level that it's rarely you're ever going to catch it. So definitely we want to continue to use our mask, use vaccination, use hand washing, and using the giving people 6 feet, making sure we're covering our mouths and things. If we're not wearing a mask, you still have to cover your mouth and nose and things, and when you're coughing and sneezing and those types of things. So they used to say an ounce of prevention is worth more than a pound of cure. So do
Absolutely.
that and stay in touch with things as they relate to your state. If you never looked at your state website, go look at your state website, because one,
Mhm.
the city has one, the state has one, and you know why? It's because of your taxpayer money that's
Come on.
funded that way. This is the whole thing: taxation with representation. So, be the very simple fact that you're paying taxes in the city where you live, that gives you a stake in what goes on in the government where you live.
Hmm.
That's why you vote.
I think our issue, Linda, is with that phone line that we have. I think that's what the issue is. I'm trying to get it back up right now. I
Uh-huh.
actually I shut it down and I'm bringing it back up right now just to see. But yeah, the crackle is coming from that somehow from that phone line.
Mm-hmm.
So hopefully this is going to rectify the situation. Linda, what do you say to this, man? I ran into this issue this morning. There was somebody was talking on the radio as I was on my way here, and the guy was saying that him and this little girl they got together, and he's not in love with her or anything like that.
There is one other participant in the
Okay,
conference. Please announce
I
yourself.
think this is better. Okay, he's not in love with her or anything, but when they got together, and you speak a lot about this too, they got together and they just did adult activities.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know whether it was one night, 2 nights, or I don't know all the details around that because he didn't go into it, but a child was produced,
Mm-hmm.
and now he's saying that and he was actually was young Jock. He was asking young Jock in the show, what should he do because he don't want to be with the lady, but he's actually staying there. He's staying with her. He's trying to do the quote unquote the honorable thing by staying with her because they have a child. Leonard, what do you hear in that situation? Because he don't want to be with her, so I don't think he's gonna have any loyalties to her. And
Well, I
and
hear
and
the truth of the matter.
mm-hmm, mm-hmm,
Children who are not conceived in love, that is an issue.
yeah, yeah.
Now he can go along with. He don't have to be with her.
Well, I think a part of what it is with this guy, man, and I obviously I don't know him. He was on the radio, so I don't
Mm-hmm.
know him, and so I can't, and I'm just trying to gather from what I'm listening. Sound like he was like an old school type guy, and he got raised by some folks that gave him some old traditional. You got that girl pregnant, stick with her and be with her, raise that child. That's your child. Blah blah blah. I think he's caught up in that situation, and he stand with her. Said they've been together for I think he said 6 years now. 6 years now, but he don't
They've been together 6 years, but we don't know how they've been together 6 years.
exactly, absolutely.
Once the deed it's done, it's done.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you have to deal with it the way you have to deal with it. Of course, he does not have to get married because no one mentioned marriage.
No, he never said anything about marriage.
Okay, so he's doing like everybody else is probably doing around him as well. We know
Mm,
it's not that he's struggling with anything unusual,
mm-hmm.
but that's what happened. He didn't love her in the first place. He didn't care nothing about it in the first place. I mean,
Nothing.
it just does not change because someone gets pregnant and
Mm-hmm.
has a baby. That does not change. So if you're there faking it, how long do you plan? What's the plan actually?
Mm-hmm.
If the plan is to stay forever, then you are an honorable person.
Mm-hmm. And that's what I was about to ask you. Is he an honorable person for doing that, for staying there for because of the fact that he have no connection with her?
Yes, he
Uh,
did.
well, I mean, relationship wise, relationship
Yes,
wise,
he
he had no.
did. Yes, he did.
No, I
They
don't think he
probably
ever.
they probably told you they probably shared many things together.
Mm-hmm.
He just told you they was together 6 years.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, I'm just
Mm.
saying that's if the evidence is there.
Is that the honorable thing though? I
Oh
guess it's.
yes, it's very honorable to do. But if you're not an honorable person, you can't
Mhm.
do that. If you
Mm.
desire to be honorable, then this is a great way to do that.
Is it a and this is so sticky right here, man. I was like, man, look at this. But my thing is this right here. Is it the best thing for the child? Is
Yes.
it the best thing for the child?
Well, I
Uh,
wouldn't say that. I mean, because you want to operate that way and say what's best because you don't know the future. It's the
mm-hmm,
attempt and the
mm-hmm,
commitment is what makes it better, good, better, or best.
mm-hmm,
It's not like I say. If you're going to do the honorable thing, then do that, and let being honorable be your guide. If you're doing this because of what someone may say, or how you look, or anything superficial like that, I'm assuming that you're gonna have some problems.
mm-hmm.
I mean, like I say, you ain't married to nobody.
Yeah, Yeah.
You're not you've not committed or formally committed to marriage. So what is the expectations of your relationship period? How are you together 6 years? Do you live together? You know, those types of things. Matter of fact, are you of any type of religious or moral? Do you have any type of religious or moral values that
Mm-hmm.
play a part in your decision? You can't be that honorable if you had a child out of wedlock.
Mm-hmm.
You can't be that honorable.
But do you give any points for sticking in there?
Of course, that's what it's. What else can you do? But the
Mm-hmm.
wrong, but the opposite of that,
Mm-hmm.
which would make you definitely a whole different person.
Mm-hmm.
But you know, to each his own. You should do the best you can, even if you've made mistakes. Did you make a mistake? Have you? Was it a mistake,
Mm-hmm.
or was it because of your carelessness?
I honestly speaking, Leonard, I think it was a combination of the two. I think it
Yeah.
was a combination of the two. And you never want to look at a child and say that that child was a mistake. You never want to do that, but at
Well,
the same
but I
time,
mean,
it
it
do happen.
depends. If you want to lie to yourself, which many women do,
Mm-hmm.
then that's your point of view.
Mm-hmm.
But to call things something that they are not is a problem. You need to tell the truth. You was messing
Mm-hmm.
around. You wasn't intending to get pregnant. You was irresponsible, and that's why you're pregnant. Not because two people loved each other enough to get together to want to bring another life into this world and take care of that life. That's not
Mm-hmm.
why you conceived.
Yeah. Yeah. That's good. That's good. VP, good morning, sir. Welcome back. Welcome back, sir.
Hopefully, I'm not breaking your system today.
No, 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 no. No, and actually, it sounds much better, man. I had to reboot it. Had to reboot, man. So it sounded much better. We could hear you. It's clarity. I was talking to Captain Leonard about I was in my way and I listened to the radio and I pop around to different shows, regular shows and XM and series and stuff like that just to see what's going on. And there was a guy on the Young Jock show this morning, and he called in and shout out to Young Jock. They got a great show over there here in Atlanta. But the guy was saying that he got with this young lady and she became pregnant, and he don't really want to be with her. He don't want to, relationship with her, but she have a child, and so they've been together now 6 years. Um, is that an honorable thing for him to do, or should he have done something from a distance, or what are you hearing that, brother? Because it's so many different layers in this whole situation right here. What do you hear?
I'm hearing a guy that wanted to enjoy a moment and now have a lifetime of burden.
Mm-hmm.
Uh,
Do we
for him to
want do
stick
we want to
around
say
for six
burden?
years
Do we want to
is
say burden?
Yes, we want to.
Wow, wow. Okay. Let say yes.
see him sticking around is showing that although on the surface he's saying that I don't want to be there, his heart isn't hardened enough to say, I got a responsibility to this young lady and this child.
Mm-hmm.
What he needs to do is understand now he has a purpose, and with that woman still sticking by his side, she can help him grow into something. He for him to come on the show, he's confessed that he know he made a mistake. And for
Yes.
him to know he made a mistake, there's an opening for him to grow and be something more than what he's looking at in the mirror right now. His
Mm-hmm.
problem is he's looking for notoriety because I'm sure social media and all his friends are telling him he's doing that, but his heart's probably not really there.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Exactly.
You just got to give it a chance.
Mm-hmm. But how do you stay in a relationship for that long that you don't want to be in? I understand he knows his responsibility and he know there's a child there, and I look at it as an honorable thing that he want to step up to the responsibility. But how do you as an individual stay in a relationship for 6 years that you don't want to be in?
I'm an honest, true person. I'm, I was I was in a relationship. I was in a marriage I didn't want to be in for 10 years.
Wow.
like almost to the degree of sabotage and whatever, because I was just that selfish. I wanted her to be something that she's not. And it took me 12 years to realize, oh, she was put here for this purpose, for me to be something different.
Mm-hmm.
And during I don't know how to explain it. I guess it's like that you have to have God, man. You can't you it's not a good answer for it without, it's not a good secular answer that I have, because if you don't get around people who tell you, hey man, I've been here before, and in a community that really want to see you thrive, no matter what you do, you're always going to find or look for a way out, instead of looking for a way to grow, or a way to expand, to increase your capacity without making it seem like you're losing who you are.
Can you lose who you are in that scenario? Can you lose yourself?
Depending on how selfish you are, yeah, you'll begin to try to morph yourself into somebody or something that you're truly not, and you find yourself in crowds that you don't hang out with, or you find yourself entertaining people or women that you shouldn't be entertaining, because all of it makes sense to you.
Wow.
It makes sense to you.
Leonard, can you become
I'm sure for this young man, when he laid with this girl, it made sense for him because that looked right for him. But when the baby came, none of it started to make sense.
Leonard, could he become a prisoner to that situation?
Well, did he do the crime?
That doggone Leonard. Go ahead.
Did he break the law? Yes, he did. So that's what happens, and it's become normalized now. It's become normalized now to have these things. It's been 6 years. What is it you're not trying to be in? Because you're not married. So what is it that you're not trying to be in? You'll have this relationship for life. So what is it that the young man is so distraught about now? Get your stuff and move if that's what you want to do. I don't know what it is or what level of commitment he's at in his life. He's probably maybe he's been screwing around the whole time. You never know. This is how young men get into trouble. And because usually the great thing about being a man, a lot of times you don't need no closure. You don't care about nothing. You just boom. You do what you want to do. And you fix it after the fact. We say real men take care of their business. You don't do what you're gonna do and then whine about it to somebody else.
Exactly.
So, when he's talking about what he's going to do, first of all, your responsibility to your child is what is most important.
And see, that's my thing. But see, the responsibility to the child, yeah, absolutely, without a shadow of a doubt. But is he also responsible to her?
No.
Do he have to?
He's made it clear to her that she's not his wife. That's what he's made clear. I don't trust any man that way. I'm a man. If I wanted you, I'd let you know it. I'd proclaim that. But what I would not, most people are just shacking. That is, when you throw away the old words and concepts, you forget what it really is. Like when someone is explaining this situation, she became pregnant. No, she didn't. You got her pregnant is what you did. You did it. Take the responsibility. She didn't get her. This wasn't no immaculate conception, and you don't know how it happened. And she became. No, she didn't. You got her pregnant. Y'all was screwing around. You know different. You know different than me.
Come on.
I just taking care of my responsibilities.
Mm-hmm.
So in that way, if you want to be an honorable man, if you want to live up to that, definitely strive to do that. However, if that is not what you want to do, and you are just so distraught and so unhappy, do what needs to be done.
Mm. What does
You didn't have a commitment in the first place.
yeah at all at
So I
all?
don't know what you're so being so honorable about. That's one. There was
Mm-hmm.
no honor in it to begin with.
Mm-hmm.
So what you
Wow.
think? You think you doing her a favor, maybe, by staying with her? Maybe she doesn't want to be there either.
Mm.
Have you considered that? Have you considered talking about it?
Excuse me.
Maybe you
Using
need
county
some type
DOC meeting.
of therapy or something of that nature, which probably was why he called in to that
Mm-hmm.
show to try to get some uh, type of opinion. But really, he shouldn't need anyone's opinion
Mm-hmm.
on this particular matter because plenty have taken care of their child and moved on. You
Mm-hmm.
just take
Exactly.
care of you take care of your child.
Mm-hmm.
You make sure your child has what your child needs. It's not about the young lady in the situation. But once you've done that, the evidence is here. You
Mm-hmm.
can't escape it. It's not something you can escape. So,
VP, what do you say to that, brother? And I'm feeling what Leonard is saying, but and before we even do that, let me get a phone number 508-924-3521. 508-924-3521. This young man he got with this young lady. There wasn't a relationship. They did grown folk activities, and she became pregnant. She became impregnated. 6 years later, they're still together. He don't want to be there, but he wanted to do the honorable thing by his child. And so for 6 years, he's been with this lady. Is he right? Is he wrong? Is he doing the honorable thing? Is he a prisoner? 508-924-3521. 508-924-3521. Give us a call. We'd love to hear from you. VP, talk to me, brother.
I'm kind of on board with what Leonard is saying. There's options when you sit in a relationship like that where, and just going off of him saying he don't want to be there, and maybe she not wanting him to be there either. That they're leaving the door open for either one of them to split whenever,
Mm-hmm.
and it shows that they can sustain that way if they wanted to. But I'm I'm more curious of why sit around for 6 years.
Do you think,
If
VP? Do you think, VP, that one of them is waiting on the other one to leave?
it could be that, it could be financial,
Mm-hmm.
or um, it could be one waiting for the other one to step up because they had to know each other or get to know each other after 6 years and have a child. Because if anything, if he keeps this pattern up, he just sticks around and, like Leonard said, they just shacking around. When the baby's 18 and he doesn't feel like he has a child support commitment and he leaves, that's gonna mess the baby up more than him just getting it together and leaving now, or realizing that he really wants to be with this woman and marries her. So
Mm-hmm.
in all actuality, he has created his own prison, and
Mm.
either he's gonna be in solitary confinement because he's gonna be lonely in this type of relationship, or he's gonna be in prison where he feels like he can't move around and be the man that he should be because he can't commit to this woman or commit to the child like he should be, or the relationship in general. Or he'll find himself put himself in like a little county jail where he can freely move around, play with this woman's emotions, play with this child's emotions, but also be in the street and still feel like he can command something, even though he really can't do what he should be doing,
Mm-hmm.
um, as he was placed on the earth.
Wow. Wow. That's I mean, it's a tricky situation that he's in. It's a real tricky situation.
what's so tricky about it? People been tricking off for a minute. This is not a tricky situation at all.
Mm-hmm.
It's not an unnormal situation. I mean, he probably knows several people that has been in the situation. You know, it's like my mother used to say, you can lie to me all day, but 9 months to tell it all.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Point blank, you know, people sitting around like racism. People sitting around dealing with stuff like it just happened. It didn't just happen.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, she became pregnant. No, she didn't. What did you do? That's what's important. If you can always put it out there, I'm known as being a very direct, and I can be a very bad guy from a certain perspective.
Mm-hmm.
But
Mm-hmm.
no, it's not. I just have a very direct way about handling my business, especially when I have made mistakes.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I dedicate myself to righting my wrongs.
Mm-hmm.
And I can't, I mean, I don't even like to be friends with men who abandon children.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's just that nature. I like for cats to say, you know what, bam, I did this. Matter of fact, first of all, I'm gonna make sure it's my baby,
Mm-hmm.
and then I'm gonna go down. I'm gonna do everything I can for this child, irregardless of the relationship with the mother. Because the only
Mm-hmm.
thing I relationship I may have with the mother is that she dropped her drawers the fastest.
Mm-hmm.
That's the thing. It's so funny that you're talking about this today because one of the most popular shows in the last season, Insecure, is dealing with this issue
Mm.
of these these children born out of, let's say it, wedlock.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That's your
Mm-hmm.
commitment in wedlock, first of all.
So
Should have been. That's why that's
should he
such a
marry
big deal.
should he marry her, Leonard?
No,
Should he
no, no, no. For what? For what purpose?
they got a baby together, man.
Well, I mean,
Yeah,
if
right
that's
by the
his,
thing.
if that is, but for what? But being married now, what does it mean?
Mm-hmm.
You've already done what should have been done in the confines of a marriage. You've
Mm-hmm.
already done that. You never you if you obviously don't love the person.
Mm-hmm.
Now,
Exactly.
one, I understand, one, marriage is definitely great to secure the resources for the child and
Mm-hmm.
to establish an heir.
Mm-hmm.
I understand that. Marriage works in the best interest of individuals, especially back in the day where it was related to maybe together, like we mentioned before, about income, for instance. Maybe he's financially secure and he's not, and that's why he's there. Maybe
Mm-hmm.
it's because he can provide a house that she couldn't do on her own. Maybe the me, you, and a house and things like that. That's why he's there, because that's what he provides in this situation.
Mm.
He could be a wealthy man. You never know.
Yeah, yeah. Could
You
be.
know, but why be there 6 years? You ain't been sleeping in separate beds, I'm
Mm-hmm.
sure.
No.
You've been coming and going as a couple.
Mm-hmm.
So what is the issue that you're having? What's the problem? What's the real
Well,
problem?
let me ask the real question here. Are they living a lie?
I don't know. What
To
lie
I
they
mean, to
telling?
be together for 6 years, to be together for 6 years like that, knowing they don't want. I can't say I can't even speak for her because I
Yeah,
didn't hear her part of the story. But for him to be there for 6 years, knowing he don't want to be there, and for him to verbalize the fact that he don't want to be there, he don't want to be with her, he don't want a relationship with her. Only reason he's there is because they have a child, and she
he
became
sounds like a
pregnant.
child.
Mm,
He sounds like a child.
mm,
Because when I don't want to be somewhere, I'm not gonna be there.
yeah.
Just point blank. I don't care. People say,
Mm-hmm,
"Well, we've been together 6 years, and we're not finna be together 6 years in one day,"
mm-hmm.
because this is the decision. This is the decision that needs to be made.
Wow.
You got to do it.
Mm-hmm.
Because it'll just get worse and worse. Because trust me, another baby is somewhere.
And that I was about to go there. What if along the course of this situation, VP, another child is conceived?
It
Now
will be.
there's another 18 years there. Does he stay? Does he leave? Does he does
Yeah,
yeah, go ahead.
he is at a point where, Leonard giving to you where it's straight facts.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna lean towards the emotional,
Mm-hmm.
and
Okay.
I just think it'd be better, even though they have the struggles, and he verbalized that he doesn't want to be there. Using the examples Leonard used, like maybe he has finances and she doesn't, or maybe she's providing something that he doesn't. That might be a goal or objective for them to actually look towards in marriage, or if they got around the right type of people
Mm-hmm.
that help them see through their problems and see the positivity of what it is to have a healthy marriage. I'm assuming they're Black if they're on Young Jocks show, so
Yeah.
that's a positive for the community or the image. And I know Leonard's gonna let me know, people, we don't have to do that just for the community, because if they fail, then that's even a strike, a worse look, just because it looked like we're trying to force a concept that doesn't have to be done.
Mm-hmm.
But if we look for the positive, which I'm gonna try to do, because old boy ain't sounding good, but without her side, maybe he's just in a rough patch or season in his life where it just ain't running right. And instead of understanding that a good time is gonna come, because for him to stick around, there has to be good times.
Mm-hmm.
Has to be.
He's not just sitting around for no reason. And if somebody, he got around good friends or positive friends, because that's probably what his issue is. He has bad friends or bad associates.
But see,
telling him, you ain't got to stay there.
I mean, I can
People do this
understand
all the
that,
time.
but my thing is his bad friends, his bad associates were not the ones that laid down with her. He made that choice. He made that decision to lay down with this young lady, and in the court, and not only that, unprotected, because for them to have a child, certainly it wasn't protected sex. And so when that happened and the baby came, now there's a sense of responsibility, Leonard, that I don't think he was ready for.
Wow, really? Because I wouldn't. Because I'm very responsible, but I can tell you the thing I struggle with most of my life is parenting. Trust me,
Mm-hmm.
it is at the
Mm-hmm.
top of the list every day as
Mm-hmm.
my number one struggle.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Wow.
a real man takes the challenge.
Mm-hmm.
And then don't even talk to me about honor,
Mm-hmm.
because you had none. So where did it all of a suddenly, and I'm taking this because of what you said he said
Mm-hmm.
on the conversation. But I just believe in people sitting down and taking care of their responsibilities. We know in this generation what we do, how we do it, and everything. We have some of the most terrible behavioral habits
Mm-hmm.
when
Yes,
it
Lord.
comes to mating.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it blows your mind. How long did it
Mm-hmm.
take young girls to realize just because he slept with you don't mean he cared nothing about you?
Mm-hmm.
Just because you have a baby don't mean he gonna stay. Just because he said he was gonna be there don't mean he is. Yeah, he said all these things that he was there with you, was pregnant, and it wasn't 3 months after the baby was born, he was gone and had somebody else pregnant.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty soon, women had to learn. Women had to say, I got to do better than this.
Yeah.
And when they started doing better, all of them started moving forward as they took
So
on those responsibilities that way.
and with that being said, Leonard, you throw a big ball in the field right now. We're to play with it a little bit, man.
Shout out to my sisters out here that have done that.
Exactly. Now, who's more responsible in this situation? Is it him or her?
I don't know, because I don't hear any responsibility at all.
Mm-hmm.
I hear
Mm-hmm.
people that's been together. It's not hard to be with somebody that long, actually.
Mm-hmm.
Like my man VP said, come on, dude. They not sleeping in separate rooms. They
Yeah.
not sitting around talking about I wish I wasn't with you. And no,
Mm-hmm.
no, he's lying to her. He
Mm-hmm.
could be possibly lying to her. There are some men that do this and then in their heart desire to be with other men.
Good Lord.
So let's not make that like this is a huge issue this way. This is very
Mhm.
common. This is just a habit. And
Mhm.
and this is why you have men, young men with 4, 5, 6 kids. So we're going to assume that this is his first child.
Mhm.
We're going to assume that. And that's an assumption. We don't know how old he is,
Yeah.
but we're going to assume this is his first child since he's so honorable.
Mhm. Mhm.
Some of y'all got, two babies, then all of a sudden then you met the one. But that them other two girls, they don't tell the same story of the one you told she was better than special than everybody else. They don't know that woman may not even know that cat that them other two chicks was with.
Mhm.
I'm just
Yes. Sir.
saying. I mean, I
Yeah.
know it's common.
Mhm.
And one, God bless those brothers that, like my brother, for instance, who has, bro, you need to
Come on.
manage this situation.
Mhm.
We know what it is. Let's make it look like we need it to look. Get it together. Get it in order. Mm, get your stuff
Mhm.
together.
Yeah.
My wife, it was so funny. She was sitting here and we was talking about people in relationships and some people who just melt down and all this, that, and the other. We was watching a TV program and she was like, "What would you do if I did that?" I would say, "It's gonna be okay. Now get your stuff together." She knows it.
Mhm.
Get it together.
Mhm.
You don't give it to nobody else. You get it together. What do you need? What do you need to get it
Mhm.
together? Because that's all that's important. We don't need to sit here and talk about it over and over and over. We don't need to be always having meltdowns and all. No, we need to take care of this business. We got a child involved.
Mhm.
So our little selfish desires and selfish little pleasures need to be a little bit lower on our priority list. Because this kid thing, we've done a terrible thing in our generation. Just
Mhm.
the atonement for those things alone
Wow.
is is is
Wow.
is amazing. That you can even conceive in your mind that it's okay to leave children everywhere
Mm.
who don't even know you, or to not even know who your child's father is.
Mhm. Exactly.
That has destroyed our generations. So we should be doing better by that. Even if we're not in love with one another,
Mhm.
let's agree to take care and let these children know that we love them.
Yeah.
That's it. Because that other thing, relationship between you and her, that gonna go through something completely different on that, whatever that relationship may be. That's gonna go through its own thing.
Mhm. Exactly.
That
Five.
baby thing gotta be separate.
Mm-hmm. 508-924-3521. 508-924-3521. Give us a call. Love to hear from you. 508-924-3521. Give us a call. We would like to hear from you on this topic. Young man has been got with this young lady. Um, perform adult activities. I'm, trying to be PG about this thing. Perform adult activities.
Do you be performing adult activities, right?
Yes, Lord.
Okay.
Yes, Lord. and in the course of him performing those adult activities, like I said, they were together. A child was conceived. A child was conceived, and he's been with this young lady for 6 years. Now he voiced on the radio this morning that he didn't want to be with her. He don't want to be with her, but
No
he,
more.
yeah, exactly. But now he know that he have a responsibility. Now him being there for 6 years, is that the honorable thing? Is he a prisoner to the situation? Who's right and who's wrong in this? How is the child going to benefit, or is it going to be detrimental to that child's well-being, knowing that he's living in a household with a mother and a father that don't really care for each other too much? We got a caller. Caller, what's your name? Where you calling from?
I don't know if you can hear me. I don't know if I'm talking. You're talking to me,
We talking to that
Yes.
guy.
but that's right.
That's my man right there.
tell, tell everybody what's your name, brother. Where you
You
calling from?
guys, well, they call me Donald Tucson, and I say I'm from Opelousas. I live in Pascagoula,
Mm-hmm.
um, but then you ask around, and you might get something else.
Yeah, yeah. That's where you're from, brother. That's where you're from. But Tucson, what do you say about this young man, man? He got with this young lady, and they performed their adult activities, and a child was conceived during that time. Now he's been with her for 6 years. They're living together for 6 years. Is he doing the right thing? Is he doing the honorable thing? Is it helping or hurting that child being in a situation where the mother and the father clearly do not want to be together? Well, I can't speak for her. He don't want to be there. What do you say to that, Tucson? Is it right, wrong? What do you hear in this whole scenario?
Um, I've learned to not bring adult issues to your children.
Mm-hmm.
I think Leonard said, if you don't love each other, you got to love them.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't ask for your, they didn't ask for your relationship. They just was the results of it.
Mm-hmm.
But once you start talking about the baby's, the child's mother to the child, or the child's father to the child, you got problems.
Mm-hmm.
You fucking and fighting in front of each other, in front of the child, you got problems.
Mm-hmm.
You bad mouthing the other, even if you don't like them.
Yeah.
That ain't the child's business.
Mm-hmm.
You don't do it. Don't do that. Stop it. You'd be surprised how much damage you do to the child. Now, it can, um, if you be adults and do what's best for the interest of the child, you don't have to like each other.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I might as well tell you, Raheem, Leonard, I ain't telling you something about something somebody told me.
Tell him, Tucson.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I am grateful for my children,
Yes, sir.
no matter how they came,
Mm-hmm.
period. And I am obligated to do the best I possibly can to whatever adult stress or problems or situations that I have to face to take care of that child. I'm still obligated to do the best that I can
Mm-hmm.
without bringing them the adult situations in their lives. That's what I'm supposed to do.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Now, once you start running your mouth and uh, making sure the child is aware that their parent is such and such, you at fault.
Mm-hmm.
That's you that's causing the child harm unnecessarily because you don't know how to deal with life.
Mm. Wow.
That's me.
Okay. That's
You
good.
deal with life. See, my dad and mom, they stayed together. I'm pretty sure they had problems. But the only thing that I knew is that when I turned the light switch on, it came on.
Mm-hmm.
I flushed the toilet, it flushed.
Mm-hmm.
When I opened the refrigerator, there was something in it. I don't know what mom and dad didn't fuss about because they didn't do it in front of me.
Mm-hmm.
And if they did, there was you can hear a kind of an overtone in the bedroom. But when they came out of the bedroom, she fixed breakfast, dinner, and lunch and dinner, and that's all we knew.
Mm-hmm.
We didn't know nothing about what they was going through.
Yeah.
I just knew when I needed shoes, somebody went to get some.
Mm-hmm.
That's how that worked.
Mm-hmm. Wow, that's good. That's good. BP, talk to me, brother. What's on your heart? We're gonna transition in a few minutes to the topic of the day.
Oh,
BP.
I'm finding it harder and harder to defend my man sticking around for 6 years without the undertone of, and him just saying he don't want to be there, that he just playing. He playing with her emotions and he just trying to play a role. I'm not, I don't try to attack people I don't know, or but based off the situation, he didn't grow up around anybody or examples that were positive. And it's clearly showing for him to, and this is a lesson I learned, as I'm getting older, is you running your mouth and telling your business as a man weakens your household regardless. You're not concerned about what is progressing or what ground rules or what foundation you're trying to build with that young lady. You're more concerned about how to continue to sow your oats somewhere else. And that's basically what he's trying to do. He done got tired of riding that horse. He's looking for another one. Now that because he's there for the child, but for him it's really a burden. He's not seeing the love. Because if he took it the way Leonard's saying with wedlock, then you understand the love that comes with what that true meaning of making a child possessive. And as Tucson elegantly put together, when you see a marriage of, like, that's what me and Shay do. When we get into a spat, we go into the bedroom, we do what we do, and we come back out and we work. And Tadeo never knows that we had an issue because we said to each other, we put guidelines down because there's love there. You know what? We're not going to reflect what we've seen growing up.
Exactly.
He don't care about generational growth.
But you say it's hard for you to defend the fact that he stayed there for 6 years. Why is it difficult?
Not married. I'm speaking from a married perspective, but to stay there for 6 years not married is convenient. And he can't. It's not anything from his comments. Only from his comments. We don't know nothing else from him, but just from his comments, he's not reflecting anything that shows that there's no other reason but convenience. And I'm leaning towards Leonard, and she probably got money. He's probably really a deadbeat. And I just said I wasn't going to attack nobody, but this is you have to illuminate it.
Yeah,
this is probably what's really going on. Because when you sugarcoat it, this is how society gets away with lesser and lesser performing men and higher and higher performing women who doing our role. Because he's getting on shows talking about, I'm with this girl, but I'm trying to do what social media says is good, stay with her. But in reality, I really want out. So I'm not putting nothing into this relationship. I'm not building nothing that society can get from this.
Wow. That's good. Tucson, what's on your heart, brother?
Well, if there's no commitment, why you act like you're committed? You're not. So who's that for? Basically, it's only for you. Evidently, you're benefiting from it some way. But it's doing more hurt than it is good, because you're just kicking in.
So you think it could be harmful to that child?
Sure. Is there any? Evidently, there's no love there. I mean, I didn't know every once in a while you might get your freaking home, but y'all,
Well, I thought we was PG, but we done switched gears now, boy. Leonard, we done switched gears. I thought we was PG.
I'm on the, I'm on the same page with my man, with
I
my
mean,
man Tucson.
what is the benefit?
Well,
Mm-hmm.
well, got to be some benefit.
Man, man, look, you can if you are not together in a matrimony
Mm-hmm.
in 6 years and you don't want to be there, you lying to somebody.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody.
Somebody help
And
me.
children
Help me,
are
somebody.
magnets,
That's another
Mm-hmm.
song.
and they soak it up. And then you wonder why. Okay, depends on that how old the kid is.
Mm-hmm.
By now, they're going to preschool and they got problems there.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, they're acting up. Walk up into the little kindergarten or preschool and just slap a little kid. For
Mm.
what? Because
Mm.
them two ignorant parents they got.
Wow. Lashing out.
I'm just saying.
Lashing out.
Lashing out for some reason that is, and see, we damage children all the time because we think, oh, he just going, he just adjusting.
Mm-hmm.
He can't adjust because there's no security or no, I don't know what the word I want to use, but it ain't at home.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever
Exactly.
you need, stability.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You're in an unstable relationship and you wonder why your kid is acting unstable. Well, there it is.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You're unstable.
Exactly.
So, I mean, what you doing? I mean, really, what do you, can you, if it's a man, do you have a job? That's the first thing I wonder.
Mm-hmm.
We still on or you on that thing?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. We still here. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Um, do you have a job? Because I've known at least one young man that the young lady wants to get married, and the question was, where does he stay? With his sister?
Mm.
Does he have a job? Oh no, he cuts hair on the side. Wait a minute. You got to have a job to do anything on the side.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
And then all he does is sit on the couch and drink beer and a little alcohol and smoke weed.
Mm-hmm.
Because
Mm.
he probably want to work at McDonald's or something like that because he don't want to go get a good. Now I'm not saying that McDonald's, Burger King, or any place like that is not a good job,
Mm-hmm.
but when they pull hair out of your head or swab your mouth to keep the job, see most people, young and old, don't want that type of job
No,
because
no.
they like to party.
Exactly.
Party,
My
party, party.
my girl want to party all the time, party all
So
the time, party all the time. My girl wants to
uh,
party all the time,
we don't know where you
party
going,
all the.
but
Oh, excuse me.
I hear you. I
Yeah,
hear
come back, come back. Look, yeah. So every now and then I step out there a little bit. Listen, let's jump over to our topic for today. We're gonna jump into our
Man,
topic
that
for
wasn't the topic for today.
no sir. And you know what the thing about it
See
is,
how you do.
we may have actually we may have answered the topic of the day in that opening topic.
You blew it. You blew it.
Okay, and the and the topic is, what is the price? What is the price of intimacy? What is the price of intimacy? Leonard, what do you say it is?
I'm not sure. I mean, that's intimacy.
Mm-hmm.
Intimacy with who?
Mm-hmm.
Are we talking about sexual intimacy? Because that's different.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
Yes.
okay, because I kind of shy away from that word intimacy
Mm-hmm.
when it comes to sex,
Mm-hmm.
because the two are not just mutually inclusive, so to speak.
Yeah.
There can
Yeah.
You can have great sex and absolutely no intimacy whatsoever.
Come on.
I mean, intimacy is very different than the way we use the word. You know, people say we've
But
been
Leonard, most of the time,
intimate
most of the time
instead
when
of saying we fornicated. So you
yeah,
start saying intimate.
but see, a lot of times when most people think of intimacy, they think of a sexual act. But you hit it out the park when you said there's so many different levels of intimacy. It don't necessarily have to be a sexual thing.
Well,
But
I
go
didn't
ahead,
say it
brother.
was a whole bunch of levels. I didn't say that right here. That's your favorite. That's your
Hey,
favorite.
that's my
It's not
favorite. It
mine.
is.
It
It
ain't that
is.
many levels to intimacy.
Mm. So you got you could be sexual, you could be intimate that way, you could be intimate that way. How
Yes.
many ways could a person be intimate
Well, and
or
the other
experience intimacy?
intimacy, the other intimacy is trusting relationships you have that you are free to share and be who you are with that other particular individual.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That's intimacy.
Mm-hmm. Now, in a family, now watch this. Now watch this. And good morning, Carla. Good morning. Good to have you. Good morning, sweet. Good morning, big brother. Good morning, MJ. I missed a lot of y'all, but good morning. Glad to have each and every one of you. Now, in a family, the sexual aspect of it, take that out. We're not gonna deal with that. Can you be intimate with each member of your family in a different way?
Yes. Yes, you can share things with people in a different way.
Mm-hmm.
You may share things with your brother and sister that you don't share with your mother and your father.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And all
You
those are
know, usually if you got more than one child, what parents, parents know, once you have more than one child, see them kids will click up.
mm-hmm.
You got two that may be thick as thieves, but one always trying to let you know about what them other two doing
Mm-hmm.
because they're a little bit more out there. You know what I'm saying?
Okay. Okay.
So you can have that type of, matter of fact, you'll hear people describe their relationship with their brothers. Yeah, I come from a family of 10, but me and my second oldest sister, we were really close.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's a level, that's intimacy.
Mm-hmm.
They're
Okay.
sharing something with one another that they're not sharing probably with someone else.
Mm-hmm.
They have a
Okay.
bond, so to speak. They trust one another, and all of
Mm-hmm.
that. To me, that's intimacy.
Okay. Okay.
When you feel comfortable sharing with someone things that you don't share with other people.
Mm-hmm.
Hello, somebody. Remember that white dress? Come on now. Come on.
Good.
That's how you really knew that's how you really knew. Boy, if she white dress, back in the day, that meant something.
Mm-hmm. Give me that foot on that red
That
dress.
meant that
That's
that woman
what
hadn't been sexual with anyone.
mm-hmm. Yeah.
You
Yeah.
understand?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Exactly.
So
We got
you know how it is. That's the way it is.
good. We got two callers. I want to touch each one of the calls in order in which they called in. Good morning, Curtis. Good morning. How you doing this morning?
What's up, family? What's going on, man?
Hey, doing good, doing good. Curtis asking the question: what is the price of intimacy? What is the price of intimacy? What do you say to that?
I'm with Leonard, man. I'm L Dog. I'm behind you 150% with another million on the side. I'm putting
Good
the
Let me
God.
whole
cash.
option
I
on
got to
you,
cash
baby.
that in, bro.
Going all in right now, man. Doing
Old
all
dudes.
that.
We old dudes. Come
Taking the
on.
bank or the bank taking us.
Come
Mm,
on, man.
There is no price for that, man. Good, bad, or indifferent. There is no price for it, bro. There
mm-hmm,
is no price. I mean, um, because there's so many different types, and my brotherhood, there's a level of
Yes.
some people, uh, some people, some people take it vulgar, um, because there's a saying of Masonic intercourse,
Hmm.
um, and that's nothing but two brothers having a bond that they can have a dialogue that others just can't have. um, because we have traveled the same road or the same path, um,
mm-hmm,
in the same discourse that was brought on one was brought on the other.
Yes,
So
sir.
there's so many different levels and types of intimacy that it does not mean, it does not always mean or connotate anything sexual. You know what I mean? I wasn't blessed to have siblings, but I was blessed to be put in a position where I have a few friends that are my siblings. You know what I mean? We have a certain level of intimate conversations. The price of it can be freedom, any number of things. I don't think that you can put a price on it. I think for people who try to, are those who, in all reality, set themselves up for failure.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Because because you have a price for that. At some point, you will put a roadblock to receiving, giving. Just that one thing that's proud. I can tell you this. And in closing, I can tell you that when it's genuine, it is by far one of the most rewarding feelings that has a potential to feel better than sex.
Wow. That's good. That's good. Let me go to we got another caller. Rico, good morning. How you doing this morning?
Man, out here freezing, man. Grand rising, everybody. Grand rising.
You out there freezing. I know I hope you got your jacket and everything on, brother. I hope you cover yourself up.
Oh, you know I do. I ain't no polar bear.
Good deal, Rico.
Hey, you ain't gonna see me. You ain't gonna see me in Minnesota diving in the ice water in the wintertime for fun.
Never. Rico, what is the price of intimacy?
The price of it ultimately to me is vulnerability. You know, I like what everybody was saying, because for some reason we associate certain things and then we reverse it. Prime example, somebody made a comment yesterday to please stop saying the Ahmaud Arbery trial. He isn't on trial. Say the trial of the murder of Ahmaud Arbery. I'm like, you know what, man, we got to start wording things more correct so it can come out the way it's supposed to.
Yeah.
So now here it is. Intimacy is sex. Nope. But see, sex is supposed to be intimate.
Exactly.
That means it's supposed to be personal with somebody that you close to.
Come on, Rico.
Somebody that you will share this personal thing with. It ain't supposed to be everybody's business. Everybody ain't supposed to have none of it with this person. So that's why sex is equated to intimacy, because it's supposed to be something personal with that, you know, or something you do with a close person. So or something, yeah, I put it to you that way. And so, you know, I agree with what everybody was saying, man. It's about how personal you are. You know, when you are intimate with somebody, you may tell secrets that could come back to bite you. You may confide and admit to things that you didn't want or nobody should know because they were wrong, but it's just weighing on your chest. It's weighing on your heart. You can't sleep at night. And you ain't gonna sleep till you tell somebody what you did. So now you got this confidant. And this confidant, the reason why you chose them, because hey, they've told you personal things that they've never told anybody before you. You know, that's how it really gets started, man. I ain't never told nobody this. But when I was young, I did this and that. Guess what kind of intimate detail came out with the woman that accused Emmett Till originally of whistling to her, and then she came back later on and admitted. She gave intimate details, personal details of what truly happened. Had anybody known those details, he probably would have been alive still to this day. So those are things, you know, you leave yourself open to. You leave yourself vulnerable to being revealed or having your secrets exposed. That's the cost of it, of intimacy. That can be the cost of it.
Yeah.
Now, at the same time, the other cost is that you actually might be buying somebody that can give you some therapy, somebody that can be your support system, that you can lean on. The reason why you do somebody is because you have something in common, somebody you can relate to. So, you know, you really going to be leaving yourself open and leaving yourself vulnerable because you open it up to people revealing things to them that you would never tell anybody else.
Wow, that's good. That's good. I want to say a good morning to a few people. Pretty lady, good morning. Pothead Button Z, a very interesting name you got there. James Tyus, good morning to you, and ID, good morning to you as well. VP, what do you say to that, man? What is the price of intimacy? And the phone lines are open 508-924-3521. 508-924-3521. One more time, 508-924-3521. What is the price of intimacy? VP, what do you say to that?
I think everybody basically correct. I'm gonna try to keep it on the earthly sense, and I see Curtis. I see his light shining over there, from over 276 part of Great Britain. Yeah, there is a price. It's just on a surface level of intimacy, because fraternally, Mixed Psi Fraternity Incorporated, greatest fraternity on earth, there was a price I had to pay to enjoy the intimacy that came with it afterwards, if that makes sense. So, although, biologically and psychologically, there is no price for intimacy, man has figured out a way to make that happen. Even though you don't have to rely on those things, you can get it without having to pay a price, and that's on an earthly sense with money. To gain that intimacy with certain brotherhoods or clubs or high society, there is a love that's pure once you're in that type of round table.
Okay.
That nobody else can share.
Wow, that's good.
So just to play a little devil's advocate, there is a price in some scenarios where you have to pay something, even if it's money or your pride, just so you could be a part of that intimate relationship that you have. Military is one of the biggest examples.
Wow, good deal, good deal. We got another caller. Caller, what's your name? Where you calling from? Throw you with a T.
Morning. Hello, family.
Good morning. How you doing this morning?
I'm good. How you doing?
Doing good. Toy, I gotta ask you the question. What is the price? What is the price of intimacy?
You can ask some questions, sir. What is the price of intimacy? I mean, that's I don't even how to know that, how to answer that question. I mean, I don't think we really look at intimacy the way that it really is, right? Being intimate means like up close and personal. You know what I'm saying? It's knowing, it's that relationship that knows what's going on with you, knows where you were coming from, where you're going, what you're doing, those kind of things. You know what I'm saying? So close and personal relationships are considered to be intimate relationships. Most of the things in life that we experience, school, education, work, jobs, those are intimate things that we discuss, with people to a certain extent. So with knowing that, I guess, to a point, maybe it can cost your life. Because what do you do when no one's around to share your darkest secrets or your struggles or your trials or your accomplishments or things of that nature? You're just one lonely little human here with animals and trees, and then you're having an issue with whatever it is, and I mean, and you can't get that out, and then get a response behind it. You can't have an intimate conversation with nothing and nobody, with just you and your information. I don't think that that's conducive to a human being, period.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I think like that's one of the reasons why God created Eve. You know what I'm saying? Like by the time Adam got done fooling around in the garden, chasing snakes, chopping heads off and stuff, golly, he got to go talk to somebody about it. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like that intimacy is like, I mean, it's like water. You know,
Mm-hmm.
like that's like one of the reasons why we communicate and get to express ourselves. So I believe if it can't be done, it could probably cost you your life for your sanity.
Wow. Wow. That's good. That's good. Tucson, can you be intimate? Can you be intimate with someone that you're not attracted to? Can you have a sense of intimacy with the person that you're not attracted to?
Yeah. Yeah.
It's very crackish. It's very crackish.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Yeah, but you can.
Mm-hmm.
That's Raheem's fault too, son. That's Raheem's fault.
Yeah, I know,
blame
but you
blame
know,
blame the
we
black fella.
talking to Ra- we talking to Raheem, so
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
we just have to roll with it. Raheem sits in the recliner with his hands in the back of his head, and these thoughts come to his mind,
Hmm.
and we just got to roll with it.
What you say? Hmm.
But yeah, it's priceless, really. It's very costly,
Mm-hmm.
and some people would pay anything or give anything for it.
Mm-hmm.
Now, here's another thing about this intimacy. Um, it has, I would prefer it over sexual activity.
Wow.
Yeah, yeah.
Mm.
I mean, really, because what the world needs now is to be more compassionate and together, unity, um, to have a caring atmosphere, pleasancy
Mm-hmm.
about itself, even with people that we don't care for. That's why we got so much division and anger and frustration and hatred and bigotry and
Mm-hmm.
envy and strife because there is no intimate. We're not intimate with each other. We don't care. We don't spend time. We don't value. We don't have no value about each other. It's a me, my, and I. So the only thing we do is, excuse my French, but we just go around screwing ourselves.
Mm.
Sir, that's not French. That's not French. That's clearly English. That's
Thank you.
clearly English.
Thank you. Yeah, yeah. But you know what? But you think about what people or we in this, especially this society, first thing you think about when it's somebody say intimate, the excuse my other French is to say, well, they think about screwing.
Mm-hmm.
That's
Mm-hmm.
adult conversation today.
PG, brother,
But
PG.
you can just walk up to somebody and say, "Let's get it on." Well, you know how things
Okay.
go,
That's usually what happens. I think.
and
Let's
that's
get it on.
basically how
Yeah.
developed relationships start.
Yeah.
You
Pretty
don't get no
much.
phone before you know it. Oh, I just want to get my freak on. That's
Mm-hmm.
why you're a freak.
17
That's
minutes.
what you,
Lord,
thank you,
Lord.
Talia, for keeping in line. See how that work out?
Exactly, exactly. Man, Rico, talk to me, brother. Intimacy.
Something else I wanted to hit on is the fact that you risk exposure. You know, and I said that about vulnerability. You risk exposure
Mm-hmm.
about your most intimate details. You know, it's funny that he said that about sleeping with somebody because I was thinking to myself, most of the time, the most intimacy well, when it comes to having sex, the biggest part of intimacy starts after the sex
Yes.
when you start pillow talking.
Mm-hmm.
You start pillow talking, all of a sudden you telling this one woman that you really ain't got no relationship with, how much money you make and where your plug is and where you
Stop
keep your money, and then next thing you
Stop
know somebody tying you up
it. Stop it.
because you have
Stop it.
exposed yourself.
Stop it.
We giving intimate details.
Mm-hmm.
So you have those situations where we do tend to want to open up. Like Toya said, everybody needs somebody to open up and talk to.
Mm-hmm.
But when you do find that person that you want to talk to, what are you exposing yourself to? What
Yeah.
are you keeping yourself? Are you making yourself vulnerable to something that could come back to bite you later on, or you open yourself up to something that could help you, you know. But when you ask, could you be attracted to somebody? Well, if you want to base intimacy on getting close with somebody, can you be, how did you put that? Can you be intimate with somebody you aren't attracted to?
Yes, that you're not attracted to.
I
Yes.
imagine Beyonce did the same thing.
Wow.
You know what? See, that's why, Raheem,
Yes, sir.
I was trying not to say nothing until you came back around.
Mm-hmm.
How you gonna be intimate with somebody that you're not attracted to? Why would you say that?
Because what you all said earlier is that intimacy and sex is different.
But what does the attraction have to
See,
do with anything?
I could get it.
Mm.
I could break it down how you can do that. Say,
Go-
for instance, somebody doesn't have a type of character that you like, but all of a sudden they got a mean money scheme going on, and it ain't everybody ain't hip to it. It sounds like it's legit because it make money. You know what I'm saying? It might be a little suspicious because this person has questionable character, like Don King. But if it make money, it makes sense. So you know what I'm saying? I'm not attracted to the behavior of this person like a Donald Trump. But I might vote for him because he's about big business. You get what I'm saying? So people will gravitate toward those when they have agendas.
If
You can deal with people you are unattracted to when they have other things that can benefit you that they have possession of or access to.
Leonard, you was about to say something?
Well, to me, that has nothing to do with intimacy.
What is your definition of intimacy?
That sounds like a bunch of deception to me. There's something very deceptive about what he's saying. There's an ulterior motive, and that is completely outside of intimacy.
Explain that. Explain that.
Intimate relationship, when things are intimate, there's no reason to deceive. Remember, intimacy, when you share intimacy with someone, that's a free space usually. That's a space where you feel that you can express things because you trust and you are really relying on that person with information or what have you. There's no need to deceive within intimacy, or else it's not intimate.
So it's a base of total honesty.
Well, I mean, you should be honest within an intimate relationship. That's why when you said attraction, I'm like, attraction on what level? Are you talking about physical attraction? That's why I got thrown off. What do you mean not attracted to? And then when Rico started explaining it, attracted took on a whole different meaning. It's because now you're trying to get something from somebody. You're trying to deceive them. That's not intimacy.
So that's not truth. You're not being truthful. So therefore, because you're not being truthful, you're not being intimate with that person because, like you say, there's a deception there.
Yeah, there's something else going on there that's not really intimate. Because first of all, we don't brought other people involved with whatever you're trying to do or trying to manipulate someone. That's not the purpose of intimacy.
Okay.
People use it in a lot. You know, men lie a lot about like that. Like when I was laughing when he said, you know, after the pillow talk, ain't nobody pillow talking like that but suckers.
God almighty, Leonard.
Get up and put your pants on and get on up out of there.
Facts.
What'd you say, Rico?
It happens though. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It might be
that's how we get suckers. That's how. Yeah, I'll send a woman to do that job in a heartbeat if I need something. If I know a man that weak like that, yes, I will do that. Why don't you go get some information for me?
Now going back to that being attracted. See, you can be unattracted to a person's demeanor or character, how they carry themselves. They might be loud, but like I said, if they're beneficial to you business wise, you know how sometimes we see somebody got money, we say that boy knows something. Now you're not being deceptive, but all of a sudden you see where they're beneficial. Now all of a sudden they have a quality about themselves. Now they have a status about them that you accept. They ain't too bad after all, because money, if it make money, it makes sense. So we can go into business, even though you might like just grabbing women by their coochie. Even though you might just like to walk up to him and kiss him dead in the mouth. Well, you know what? I don't condone that, but he's a great businessman. And we are intimate, close business partners because we have the same type of practices. As a matter of fact, we have the same business motto. So now what he does in his personal life, I don't like that. That's unattractive. He might be racist. I ain't racist. He might be sexist. I ain't sexist. But he's a great businessman. And so now I'm going to make intimacy. But see, this is where you start being a close business partner. You see, you're not going to go into business like that with somebody you're not close to.
I've never been intimate with a business partner of mine.
You're going to open up. You're going to make yourself available to start getting to know this person because you invest in some of your livelihood in with this person. I mean, you got a loss that you can take. So now, you know what I'm saying, you're going to go ahead and open up and give this person the time of day. Look at Jeff Epstein and Bill Gates. Somewhere they had to have some type of personal relationship if they were going to go into business together. But I think Bill Gates backed up from them. Had they decided to go on into business somewhere, they were going to have to deal with each other. They were going to have to deal with each other intimately.
And see, and one of the reasons why
business and intimacy, business oftentimes don't involve intimacy though, y'all.
Never. I mean, that's
So just because I deal with you on a business level don't mean that you know that my wife is cheating on me. Intimacy is different. Just because I spend a lot of time with you don't mean I could be in a relationship with you and not tell you that I ever been raped and molested, not tell you that I've never been to wherever, and because we get along and because I'm doing things to keep your attention, that don't mean that I'm intimate with you. I'm intimate with people because, and I'm gonna give an example, because I express to you some of the dark things that I've been through, and we build a relationship built on a closeness and a friendship. So those are intimate situations to where if I'm struggling, you're gonna be like, Dad, why you didn't tell me, Toya? That's an intimate relationship. But just because I come and deal with you because you're a money maker, I give you my bread, you understand what I'm saying? Don't mean that necessarily that if you find out I'm struggling after I give you my bread, that we're in an intimate relationship enough for you to be like, Dad, Toya, why you didn't tell me? You're gonna be like, no, on to the next one. And certain things, I'm not going to be intimate with you because this is a business relationship. Most business relationships have nothing to do with intimacy at all.
Yeah. Let me pour some more people in. Hold on. Let me pour some more people into the conversation. This is good. I'm loving this, and I'm thinking people are getting educated on this conversation. So I definitely appreciate it. Curtis, what's on your heart, brother? Curtis,
right? You call on me?
Yes, sir. Yeah, like you surprised, brother.
Yeah, I was a little bit. I ain't gonna lie. I really don't know what to say because I just had. Well, I have an intimate relationship with the clients that I serve daily. Right. I have a very intimate relationship with them. And I had to click over because one of my clients just called me crying and crisis. So I really don't know how to respond to Toria's comment because I didn't hear it all. Can you bring me up to speed?
Toya, give us the quick version. Toya.
Okay, that's the big button. No, Kurt, I was just saying, like, business doesn't necessarily mean that it's an intimate relationship. Just because you're a moneymaker don't mean that we're intimate. Intimate is a close likeness that we share. You know some of the secrets and dark issues I go through. So you may say, if we're business partners, and I'm say, Kurt, I'm struggling and we have business, then if we're close enough, you're going to get mad now, T, why you didn't tell me you needed this, that, and the third, right? But if we don't have an intimate relationship and we just doing business, I'm cordial with you, we share some of the same likenesses because I know how to act like a responsible adult. If you don't know nothing intimate about me, then it doesn't matter if I call you and tell you that I'm struggling or not, because it's business. And just because we partners don't mean that we're intimate enough for you to really care about anything I got going on when it comes to business. Intimacy don't go with business.
Okay. What do you
And
say to
also,
that?
Go.
you know, she kind of going somewhere. She went there. In most business relationships, if you want to even assume that there is an intimate relationship, it is strictly based off of business and nothing else. Um, I think a level of intimacy is established over the course of time of those partners being partners. But is that right off the top? I don't think so. Do you have a tendency when you have a business partner to have an intimate relationship? Of course you do. Because
Is it required?
you need to know.
Is it
You need to
required?
know how.
Curtis, is it required?
I don't think it's required in the initial beginning. But okay, I'll use matter of fact, I was just talking to a production team the other day about we weren't talking about intimacy, but we was talking about friendships and development of those friendships. I'm a strong proponent and believer that at this point, Spielberg, George Lucas, Michael Bay, and there's a few others have developed very intimate relationships. But that started as a result of years. You gotta forgive me, man. My knee swelled up real bad. That started as a result of years of friendship and fellowship and doing things in the likeness of each other. One of the examples I used really quick was, I can't remember if it's Close Encounter of the Third Kind or if it's Cocoon. But if you go back and you look at the crew, like the production team, you'll find that probably about 90% of what we call great directors and great film writers and things of that nature all were crew, meaning they were just cameraman A, cameraman B, grip 1, grip 2. They were just crew for that particular film. And as a result of that particular film, they developed these lasting relationships that at some point it will get personal. The conversations do become personal. At that point, you see things like Spielberg probably seen George Lucas do some things that only him and George know about. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it can become intimate and personal, but I wouldn't go into business thinking we're going to have an intimate and personal relationship right off the gate.
Good deal.
No, I wouldn't. I wouldn't even set myself up for failure like that.
Somebody else was about to say something.
I like the way Toya mentioned intimacy, because intimacy is based on a closeness that allows you to share openly. The issue that we have is the fact that we have been using intimate euphemistically. Okay, that means you've been saying you've been saying intimacy instead of saying screwing one another. See, when I tell you, was the relationship intimate, it's because that means that we were having sex. When you're see now, but remember, now you got to ask that question sometimes when you're talking to two guys. Okay, so we've been using it euphemistically, because at some point, like say for instance, as a manager, we have rules, and it's called non-fraternization. Okay,
Yes,
because intimate relationships and business don't go together. Business is business. Now, like my man Kurt said, if you work with somebody long enough, you've developed a relationship that may become intimate. But I'm sure there's things that they talk about when they're in a room that they don't talk about around everyone else
Yeah.
because they
Yeah.
don't have that intimacy with you.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the thing. And when you use it so long incorrectly, sex is an intimate act, but it is not the definition of intimacy. It
Mm-hmm.
is far from it. So when people say, you even have to clarify other things. We were intimate. No, you wasn't. You was just screwing.
Mm-hmm.
There was no intimacy. Now the act, we accept it as being a act of intimacy, supposedly. But
Mm-hmm.
truly, it does not have to, it's not that way always. Most people just having one night stands.
Yeah.
But if you question them, what do you say? Have y'all been intimate?
Mm-hmm.
Instead of
Mm-hmm.
asking them, have you had sex? That's where
Exactly.
that whole euphemism switch happened. And now folks saying intimacy, and everybody, you have to clarify it with some people because a lot of people use it. You can money how much court situations you can get out of by the use of certain words and how you use them.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So that's why I'm very careful about with a lot of the words that I use because one, if you come back and ask me a certain thing, and all I can say is, well, that's not what I meant. I don't care what you meant. I know what you said.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I don't
Exactly.
care. I don't care at all what you meant. I'm that type of
Mm-hmm.
person. I know what you said.
Mm-hmm.
You can have meant whatever you wanted to mean. We speak in English, like you say. What do I say? Excuse my French, and it
Excuse
was
my French.
clearly English. But you know what we do to the French. You know what I'm saying?
Hey,
So
hey, Tucson, he throwing you up under the bus, man. That's your brother, man. He throwing you up under the bus.
see you
You
trying to
see that?
start a
You see
fight. You trying to
that?
start a fight.
Look at it. But I want to go to VP, man. We got Friday with us as well. I'm gonna go back to Friday. But VP, what's on your heart, brother? VP?
I had a ground to stand on and then it destroyed it. I it is basically schooling yourself when you try to paint it in a different light.
Mm-hmm.
Intimacy is a closeness. It's a because you can still share that relationship with those people without you know paying a price or putting yourself in a position that you're losing your humanity or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And society can sucker you into having you believe intimacy is this
Mm-hmm.
when it's overused, or just like the word love. People overuse the word love, so now you fall in love with everything, or you love everything you see, or you love everything you eat.
Mm-hmm.
So thanks to Leonard, I now uh, I'm going to be sad face emoji for a little while.
Don't be sad face, brother. Don't be
don't do
sad.
that now. Don't do that.
No, don't. We're not gonna be sad face today. We're not gonna do that. Let me go to Friday and Rico coming to you next, brother. Be on standby. Friday, what is the price? What is the price of intimacy?
Secrecy.
Tell them Friday. Tell them.
That's the price. So, regardless of ideally, when you think of it in a husband and wife or spouse, significant other type of situation, and not even getting into like the bedroom is the results of
Mm-hmm.
intimacy. Um, but the price is that you can't have secrecy because that undermines the entire thing for intimacy to even develop and grow.
Mm-hmm.
So the price is that you're willing to be completely emotionally um, naked, as well as uh, with the proper care in that area, eventually physically naked, right? Um, with the individual in the categories that I gave to start with, where there's a marriage taking place. And for some, they get to the physically naked prior to the marriage. But then I mean, even for Veltros and I, we were them that went there first. But um, those are stumbling blocks, right? Because now you're trying to work out intimacy, you're trying to figure out intimacy, um, and you're still trying to accomplish that by not um, being transparent, right? And so then it doesn't work out. So the price is that you don't get to be a secret keeper.
Wow. Rico, where your heart at on this, brother?
Now, I'm coming right back to this business thing. See, I ain't gonna allow nobody to put me in no box with no intimacy.
Mm-hmm.
1 minute we want to say that we shouldn't narrow intimacy down to sex, but then we go right back and make it a sexual attraction or physical attraction.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe somebody is unattracted to your character. You ever heard somebody say, you know what? I don't like them as a person, but they sure can sing.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like him as a person, but he's a great basketball player. I think we'll take a risk and put him on our team. He might take us to a championship. You ain't got to be attracted to somebody physically or sexually. You could be unattracted to their character, how they carry themselves, and still deal with them because it's a good business move. So now here it is. We're going to start talking about intimacy. Well, sometimes on high-collar crimes and small crimes, you have people that interact together. You might have 3 or 4 people go in and kill some people and don't nobody know who did it. Those people go off and they never find out who it is. They got those intimate detail. That's a secret. That's an intimate detail. A situation that went on between them. But now let's take it up the ladder to Bernie Madoff, these type of people. Oh, I take that. I ain't gonna go to Bernie Madoff. This is something I saw yesterday. Travis Scott has been in the news.
Yes.
For all of those people that died at his concert.
Mm-hmm.
So his manager came out yesterday and said, you know what? I told y'all about this man some years ago. I told y'all that this is all a big fraud. He shouldn't even be a superstar. I was his manager, and he left me to die.
Mm-hmm.
I was his manager, and what I had to say, this is what he said yesterday. I was his manager, and I caught him trying to steal music and not give people their proper pay for the production, but I kept dealing with him because, see, they made a deal. What had happened was Travis found out that this man who ended up being a rap manager was also a software engineer.
Mm-hmm.
And he was able to manipulate the views and the followers to make Travis Scott look more famous than he really was. So they took somebody that was basic and average, used his software to make him a superstar.
Mm-hmm.
Travis said, well, you know what? I'm with that. I see y'all got this engineer with this software. Let's run with it. They ran with it. They made him famous. Now this might just be on my end of it. I don't know if everybody realized, but it's 4 people in that family made the billionaire list. Counting Kanye West and Travis Scott, Kylie Jenner, then there's 1 more. They made the billionaire list.
Mm-hmm.
Might be the software again because they tried to say that their oldest girl really didn't make it. But when Travis found out that this man could manipulate the hip-hop business and get his views up to where the record execs would say, you know what? This man got a following. He has an appeal.
Mm-hmm.
We need to sign him and give him a platform. So they manipulated. But see, these people went into it together knowing this intimate detail. Knowing this intimate secret that their fans was fake and all this momentum they was building that made him look like he was famous and he deserved this platform that these record companies gave him, it was all fake.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody knew that till the manager came out. That's an intimate detail.
Mm-hmm.
Those were 2 people that decided, you know what, we'll go ahead and do this together, partners in crime, and we'll keep this secret so we can complete our agenda. Now he don't like Travis. Now he's unattracted to Travis' character. He thinks Travis actually got a kick out of seeing them people dying in this concert. And they showing other footage that prove that might be true. He might be some sick, selfish-minded person that got a platform and didn't deserve it. But this guy knew this from the very beginning and kept on promoting him because both of them was in it for the business. They was in it for the money and the fame. So, There you go. You got two people went into business for the wrong reason, and nobody ever knew that this guy made it to be a famous hip hop star based off of software. Nobody knew but these two people.
Yeah.
That's
Okay.
an intimate detail.
Good deal.
And
Good.
that's business.
Absolutely. Good. And I know some people got some things that they want to say to that, but I want to go to we have a new caller, Cassandra. Good morning. How you doing this morning?
Good morning. How are you?
Hey, doing good. Good to have you, sister. We asked the question, what is the price? What is the price of intimacy? Cassandra, what's the price of intimacy?
Well, I don't, intimacy has, like two or three different meanings. I don't know which one you're talking specifically about, because intimacy can be something as simple as a familiarity with a person, closeness. That's intimacy, being close enough to know details that maybe everybody else doesn't know. Then you have intimacy as far as the sexual intimacy. So I don't know which one you're talking about, but for me, intimacy, the price of intimacy is taking down walls, taking down your wall, and allowing someone to really see who you are and to get to know you. And that's hard for some people. It's hard for me, because I love really hard, and I don't know how to be fake, when it comes to how I feel. So I wouldn't do very good as a gold digger or a cougar, none of that, because I don't know how to be fake. I'm going to be very open in a relationship, and maybe that's why I've been single for 22 years, because there are certain things that I'm not going to do, and we've discussed that before. If you want to get to know me, then you need to get to know my mind first, and my body is going to be like the third or fourth thing you get to know about me. It's not going to be about the sexual part. You're going to get to know me, who I am, what I like, what I'm about, and my spiritual side and my emotional side before you get to my physical.
Exactly.
That's my decision.
That's good. That's good. Got another caller. Caller, what's your name? Where you calling from, brother Pete?
How you doing, DKM Radio, Morning Glow, channel listening audience?
Hey, doing good, doing good. We are asking the question, man. What is the price of intimacy? Pete, what is the price of intimacy?
Vulnerability, truth, sincere honesty, open oneself up, fully exposed to be able to, for someone to get to know you, know your ways, your thoughts, your heart, mind, and spirit. Like my dear sister was just expressing, the intimacy starts internal. That's an internal connection, emotional, heartfelt, spirit felt. And the physical aspect is just an expression of what's felt internally, emotionally, and spiritually. So true intimacy involves truth. It involves you opening yourself up to be vulnerable, for hurt or whatever. But not that you're open to be hurt. You're expecting that. But you have to open yourself up fully with no restrictions and really get to know a person, to share, to give up your inner being and expose it freely.
Wow.
And then comes the physical part of that intimacy.
So there's different levels.
Absolutely.
Well, most definitely. It's definitely different levels to intimacy. True, real intimacy. We confuse sex, which is exercise, it can be called a sport, the way some people conduct it. It's not necessarily the fullness of intimacy. When a woman has your heart and your mind, when you have her heart and her mind, they will give of themselves freely to one another. So the intimacy is an internal thing first. That's the spirit connection, the heart connection, the soul connection, the emotion. See, and then the respect and the honesty and the faithfulness and the truth and the trust. All these things come into play. And then we can have a physical expression coming together. And it makes it wonderful when it's sincere and true.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Man, this conversation, man, we need to do a part 2, 3, 4, and a 5 of this conversation right here, because there's so many, and like I always say, there's so many different levels to this thing too. So, what's on your heart, brother?
I keep laughing because sometimes you go you go the wrong route, and
Mm-hmm.
you find out later on that you're with, or you're entangled yourself in a relationship with somebody that is not intimate,
Mm-hmm. Wow.
and you now you got a problem because they don't have a. Let me tell you what I was thinking about,
Uh-oh.
and I just
Get
talk
ready,
about
Leonard.
what I know.
Get
No,
ready, Leonard.
it's not a it's not a it's kind of a whole different picture
Mm-hmm.
on paper. And I'm gonna use this for an example. Enoch walked with God. Abraham was his friend.
Yes,
Mm-hmm.
sir. Yes, sir.
Okay,
Mm-hmm.
that's intimacy.
Yes.
That's a closeness. Can you imagine
Mm-hmm.
being able to be the type of person that actually is so entangled in communication, a communion with God, that he just was not found.
Mm.
That's it.
Wow.
He was there. You don't know anything else about him other than that he had a closeness with God. That's it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. That's good. That's good.
Abraham was the type of guy that he just believed in. He
Mm-hmm.
just believed in. You say go, I don't know where I'm going, but
I'm
since
going.
you say I'm going, go,
Mm-hmm.
I'm
Mm-hmm.
going.
Mm-hmm.
I ain't gonna ask you no questions. You tell me that you're gonna give me a promise. I see the evidence of it. Now you tell me go sacrifice him.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I'm gonna do.
Yes, sir.
That's that's intimacy in my mind.
Mm-hmm. That's
Okay.
good.
So when we start with true intimacy, then we have a possibility of a good relationship.
Yes.
Adam had needed something that he was missing. He couldn't have it with a cat, dog, mule, cow, fish, bird, nothing.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So so in order to give him that intimacy that he needed, he was put to sleep, and out of him came what he needed, a
Mm-hmm.
helpmeet
Mm-hmm.
called Eve. That's just the story that I believe
Come on.
to paint the picture that I'm trying to paint.
That's good. That's good.
So that bond was a willingness to give of myself.
Mm-hmm.
That's how valuable. That's what it's costly. That's what it's the price of it is. I'm gonna give me
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
everything,
That's
all of
good.
it.
That's good.
No ifs, ands, or buts, or
Mm-hmm.
doubts, or fears, or none of that.
Mm-hmm. No woulda, coulda, shoulda.
Here I am. No, none of that.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a more of a not a take, it's a give.
Mm-hmm.
But see, we got it crossed, and because we got it crossed, we don't even know the definition of the word.
Mm. Wow. And see, you did all that, man, without no French. Ain't that something? Ain't that something that you ain't even use no French?
I'm
Yeah.
so glad he did it because it has been on my mind the way he explained it.
Mm-hmm.
And also, I love what Friday said,
Mm-hmm.
confidentiality.
Yeah.
I'm a consultant, right?
Mm-hmm.
You can, but if you ask my friends and things, you can tell me things I'll never tell anyone. That's no one else's business but ours.
Yeah. Yeah.
The order of relationship is very important. And Donald made it plain because this walk that I'm walking has to do with what he said. Abraham was known for being God's friend.
Yes.
I don't know
Yes.
how anyone else knew it
Mm-hmm.
and how it was written, but that's all I have. Imagine being God's friend.
Come on.
So we should be striving for that and building up on that relationship. I
Mm-hmm.
advise people to get that relationship in order first so you can learn yourself better. So then you have no need to lie to other people, to misrepresent yourself.
Mm-hmm.
And see, this intimacy is closeness, trust, and you develop that. You can't be intimate with someone when you first meet them.
Yeah.
It's just no this how
Doesn't make sense.
does it make sense? It's like,
Mm-hmm.
say for instance, you teach you like raising children. You're teaching them how to handle relationships and things, and that whole introduction into school and everything, where they learn, okay, wait, so these other people aren't brothers and sisters. This is
Mm-hmm.
my family. Now I go to school and I meet people from other families. I befriend them, they become friends. We're friends, but the people at home are relatives.
Mm-hmm.
See, that order makes sense. And then you have a woman that'll sit there, and then for some reason she's been raised to believe that just because a man sleeps with her, he loves her or he
Mm.
cares about her. See how that's been misrepresented?
Yeah.
And see how women fall prey to this? Because, when you think about it, we're going to be intimate. No, you're not. You're just going to have a sexual act.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, no intimacy at all. It's just a sexual,
Adult activities.
the act.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Like playing. Old folks used to say,
Mm-hmm.
you just playing house.
Yeah. Yeah.
You just playing house. You're not really into one another. You just playing. Because if you were really serious, you would commit.
Mm-hmm.
You would know what should come first. Something would establish itself as a priority. Trust me, you'll know. Like, I like what Donald said, and I remember that as a child when I first learned it. Abraham was God's friend,
Mm-hmm.
because sometimes you get so caught up in doctrine, you forget
Mm-hmm.
God was looking for something,
Yes.
and He made it how He made it for that reason.
You better preach.
And so one, we were sitting there talking about this relationship was so close because he didn't even need clothes. He didn't need nothing. He was naked.
Mm-hmm.
And there was no need to be ashamed. But when you started doing all that other stuff you was doing, the relationship got out of order.
Mm-hmm.
And once you get out of order, you can easily be seduced into believing something that is absolutely not true. Oh, why would a woman, he loves me, he loves me? What is that based on, though? Why does that? Because one, we don't speak this way anymore because we have been taught not to talk this way. A spell has been cast on you.
Mm-hmm.
This is
Yeah.
why you believe what you believe despite the evidence.
Mm.
Yeah.
Because this young man came and cast a spell on you. And so now you're sitting there loving somebody that's whooping your behind, treating you like dirt,
Yeah.
sleeping around, but I love him. Because this young man has cast a spell on you.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what we have to learn. When we talk about breaking curses and things of that nature, that's what that is about. Because there are people that cast spells on you and you don't even know it sometimes until you caught up.
Wow. Wow. Let me go to Toya with a T. What's on your heart, sis? Toya?
None better say that. I'm fighting over here with the button over here. Devil ain't gonna win. Hey, let me tell you something. We don't even know we be casting spells, but in our hearts, when we walk around, we have an ill intentions and will against people and what we gonna do. And we don't understand how powerful we are. Now, see, when we become in this skin, this where it become levels, right? And y'all know me, I be in the background researching because, like a woman, I don't like to be wrong. But they say, the world, they say there's levels
Mm-hmm.
to intimacy: emotional, intellectual, experiential, and spiritual,
Yeah.
and of course, sexual. All of those are the ways that people use. People know. You know what? I'm an intimate person anyway.
I believe in telling everybody what I've been through, you know what I'm saying, and loving because I'm going to be that. But I don't know that you're not taking my intimacy level seriously until you rip me off, until you steal my man, until you beat me. You understand what I'm saying? Because some people, they know that these intimate situations are what they need to get over. They know, we know as a rule of law, when it comes to work and ethics and getting people what we want them to do, we got to get them to buy in. So that means we got to create a level of intimacy with them to keep them attentive. And sometimes when we use that wrongly, and I love what they talk about Abraham, because I knew God, I knew he existed, I knew he was alive, I wasn't intimate with him. I was doing my own thing. As a matter of fact, I ran from being intimate with him because I'm doing my own thing. That's exactly the opposite of what he really wants me to do. But he was always intimate with me because he always kept me no matter what I did. And that's the part we forget. When you intimate with people, we'll say parents. We have intimate relationships with parents. They know everything. They've seen our bodies. They've seen us grow, you know. And when they break that intimacy level, oh, it shatters everything else on the outside. But we're right. We got to get this meaning back intact. We have to understand. And first of all, even care about what intimacy is. Because so many of us so hard now from being hurt and abused, we don't even care about being intimate. We feel like that's weak.
Exactly. Wow. That's good. Rico, what's on your heart, brother?
Ooh, man, I thought y'all had already called on me, man. I just been listening, man. You know, I feel so confirmed. I'm glad that Cassandra and Pete called in and said what they felt the price was, because they hit exactly on the lines of what I was thinking. The price of it having to be so personal. And so, you know, you leaving yourself so exposed and vulnerable to being intimate or having an intimate relationship with people. Because it goes back to what I said, regardless of if you're doing something negative or positive, you're still opening up and telling somebody something personal that you wouldn't tell anybody else. If it was something you would tell everybody, then it wouldn't be intimate. So most things you start looking at, you think about are secrets, formulas. You know, I said that about the business thing earlier. Some people have a formula to success. They have a formula to being billionaires. And they're not going to let everybody know. Only those that they are probably the most intimate and most, you know, close and personal with, that will know. And they probably work with them, like Bill Gates or Jeff Bezos. So, I mean, you know, we have to understand, like, it's like, you know, it started off on a sexual connotation at first.
Yes.
But it's good that it came back around to the point where people understand, like I said earlier, intimacy isn't sex, but sex is an intimate act.
Yes,
absolutely. Should be.
Absolutely.
So, you know, when you think about it being an intimate act, there are many other things that are intimate acts too besides sex. But telling those secrets and being personal and being open and revealing yourself, the price can be detrimental, because if you ain't careful, these people will go use these same very secrets that you told them and throw you under the bus. You might be admitting to a crime that you didn't want nobody to know about.
Good deal. Good deal. Let me go to Pete, Cassandra, and then Friday.
Well, I think people playing on your emotions can come into play. That's why, you know, it involves, we're talking about the truth of intimacy. And when you add the spiritual aspect from spirituality, now that's a whole nother level. Now you're getting on a surefire sound foundation. But yeah, we're talking about real intimacy. I think that's something that's kind of illusionist today. I wonder how many fully can see the concept of true intimacy. We have relations, we have relationships, but do we really have that fullness of intimacy? That intimacy can fulfill you, and there has been no sexual activity, and you can feel that intimacy, something else, real true intimacy. That's bounded on the internal, like I say, that mental, spiritual, emotional level. That's something serious. Too oftentimes, I think we fall for the latter and the easier, but realness of man, it's something serious. It's
Absolutely.
wonderful. Like I say, it's wonderful. Having a relationship with the Creator is a wonderful thing. Finding another individual to make your mate for your life that you all really bond up and enjoy each other and fulfill each other, compliment each other, love each other. That's wonderful
Mm-hmm.
when you find it. So I'm gonna stop there.
Uh-oh.
That's Big Brother right there, Big Brother T.
Hey, look here. He was about to go. He was about to go somewhere. He was about to go in. Cassandra, what's on your heart?
Yeah, I appreciate everything that everyone is saying because intimacy, and I'm going to repeat the reason that I have been, by myself for 22 years is because I will not settle. I will not compromise. Who doesn't want to be loved and have someone to be there? So I think God will if the one isn't coming right now, can you just give me a friend, someone I can spend time with, talk
Mm-hmm.
to? Because as a woman, that is something that we desire, and women can act like it ain't no big deal, but it is a big deal. I'm
Mm-hmm.
62. It's a
Mm-hmm.
big deal, and I talk to women every day about intimacy and what they're looking for and what they want. It's a big deal
Mm-hmm.
because we were created to have a desire for man.
Mm-hmm.
That's just you can't get around that. That is in your DNA, whether you resist it or whatever, it's there. Because God said it was. And he said that women would have a desire to please. Come on now. I'm just
Mm-hmm.
we just
Come on.
talking about what the word says, not
Yes.
what Cassandra says.
Come on.
So that's innately in us. It is. It's
Mm-hmm.
innately in us to want to please a man. That means having somebody around, loving on them, having them love on you. It's a yearning within us.
Mm-hmm.
It's something that is there, unless you have in that unnatural affections toward, somebody,
Mm-hmm.
which
Exactly.
isn't based on spiritual principles. So, I love it. I'm grateful to God for keeping me for 22 years. And I still say I will not settle. When the
Mm-hmm.
person comes, they're going to be someone that first wants to make love to my mind and
Mm-hmm.
my spirit, and then they can have the body freely.
Exactly. Exactly. Friday, can it be a scary thing?
It absolutely could be scary. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
to willingly give up secrets is scary because, as what's been said and alluded to, you don't fully know what somebody's going to do with those secrets. You would hope
Mm-hmm.
that you vetted that relationship well enough at that point to get it to the level of intimacy that you do feel comfortable to share those secrets.
Mm-hmm.
So the details are in the picture, and each picture is made up by a pixel, and that's
Mm-hmm.
the approximate 1 by 1 square. And I stand on that square to say, for the bigger picture, that it doesn't really matter how it's applied. Though my example is dealing with the marriage, that intimacy is long before anything physical comes
Mm-hmm.
about. But and that's even punching somebody in the face, right? So, right, because that's a physical interaction that occurs because maybe they have told a secret, and so
Mm-hmm.
they broke that bond of intimacy. So long before it even gets there, that exchange of those secrets or what you hold dear to your heart,
Mm-hmm.
um, so it is definitely scary.
Good deal. Good deal. Leonard, we might have to get them bail money together, man, because our sister talking about punching somebody in the face.
You
When
know
we
what?
might.
I had drifted. I was doing something else, and then I said, "What? Who Friday hit in the face?"
Our sister talking about hitting somebody in the face, Leonard. We got to get the bail money together. Hey, VP, let us know where to send it to, brother. Let us know where to send the money to. What's on your heart, Leonard? How do you get
Oh,
past? How do you get past that fear? Because and it can be very scary. How does one get past that fear?
well, I'm not sure because I've never been in that situation.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so I know there's a lot of things that people share with, and it was so funny because just as silly as I can be when it
Yes,
comes
sir.
to certain things. And I
Mm-hmm.
thought about that picture in my head of you laying up telling somebody your secrets that you don't know,
Mm.
just because you hide. That's what that is.
Mm-hmm.
You know how you get drunk and you just get to talking. That's what
I'm
that
gonna tell
is.
you something. I need to tell you something, Mom.
You think just because you laying there naked, you supposed to tell somebody your secrets? That's
You,
that's the effect of that drug. That's that, like, a drug makes you high and expose yourself that way. And once you come down, now you can't believe you said what you said. You didn't intend to tell them that. And you didn't even know them well enough to be telling them your business like that.
look,
Hey,
hey Leonard.
all I need to know is it good? Is we through? That's it. I don't need to talk to you about nothing.
Hey Leonard, you get that look.
Perfect example,
You get
Clay.
that look on your face.
Oh, you laying up in there like the movies with your hands behind your head on the pillow. You know, when I was a child, boy, if you don't get up and put your clothes on and go about your business,
Look
you act
here.
like you
Hey,
love somebody. Got this gonna have this girl thinking she's special because you don't told her
Mhm.
something.
look
Hey,
here.
mess around and be looking like Buddy on Harlem Nights.
That's all I'm
Come on
about to
now,
say right there,
come on
Sunshine.
now.
Hey, tell your mama I ain't coming home.
I ain't coming home no more.
Y'all take care of yourselves, okay? Y'all take care of yourselves. VP, talk to me, brother.
When he pillow talking, when he telling her some childhood
Talking about his
memories
name Vernus.
before he found his wife.
Man, he was telling
Sitting
everything.
there crying.
He was telling everything. He was telling everything. VP, what's on your heart, brother? VP, where you at? Come on back over here, man.
You're not the one that got punched in the face, is it?
VP, where you at, man?
Friday put them paws on him. What?
The 3-piece and a biscuit. VP, what's on your heart, brother?
I was, listening to everybody. I was thinking back to, well, think to Tucson. It made me think of David and Jonathan's relationship was very intimate because of all the trials that Saul had put him through, and the turmoil that David was going through just because he was chosen to be in the position he was at. I think sometimes we forget, as everybody has brought up, the pure spiritual aspect of what it is to be intimate. So, like my wife brought up, truth is pure intimacy. Rico, in his business example, shows that when you know the truth and it puts you in a position to succeed, there's some intimate behind that. Cassandra has let us know that women have a position to expose a man's intimacy because it's hard for men to be vulnerable and to want to expose their innermost desires or their concerns and problems and not want to hold that in. Sometimes me and Friday talk about Adam and Eve a lot, and one of the questions I brought up to her is, once Eve possessed the fruit and took a bite of it, and she gained nothing, and nothing she gained nothing from it or lost anything from that, why go give it to Adam? And it's crazy that we're talking about this right now, but to just becoming more intimate within the last couple months and going, watching help videos and talking to family, that they lost intimacy somewhere. Adam and Eve, for her to not want to communicate that there was an issue between them two, that the serpent could come in and just convince her that even though she knew something was wrong, as Leonard has brought up, you're still just going to fall susceptible to what the enemy has for you. And that was to divide and conquer and to bring down what God had really wanted, an intimate relationship with man. And for him to come into the garden after that, looking for him, and Adam being naked, and nobody told him he was naked. He told God he was naked. So people know that that's the hard part about being intimate, is exposing your nakedness. You have to have something to hide behind. And that's what they did. I thank Tucson for enlightening that for me.
Absolutely, absolutely, man. This conversation, like I said, we need to do a 2, 3, 4, and a 5 on this particular conversation right here because there's so much tied into it. Cassandra, what's on your heart, sis?
I just and I thank everyone for what they're saying. I think we're all pretty much on the same page, and intimacy doesn't have to always be, between a man and a woman. The intimacy of friendship, true friendship,
Mm-hmm.
is something that should be valued. I mean, it is so precious that if you don't have a mate, that you have someone that you trust with your innermost thoughts, your innermost feelings,
Mm-hmm.
and it's rare. And we
Mm-hmm.
talked about friendships. I think it was yesterday, or day before yesterday, when we talked about friendships. Um, that is what a real friendship is, when you can have that intimate relationship with that person that you could, I don't care what we might have a drop, what do you call it, a drag out fight or whatever, but
Mm-hmm.
that person will not reveal the things that you've said to them.
Yeah.
That to me is intimacy in a friendship.
Mm-hmm.
In a friendship.
Yeah.
I'm teed off at you. You done pissed me off, and I might not talk to you no more. But what you said to me, it will never go any further than between us. That is
Absolutely.
intimacy and
Yes.
friendship.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Pete, talk to me, brother. Pete, you there?
I'm sorry, Tammy. I was on mute. I don't want to tie us up, but we talking about intimacy. I had a little thought. What does the loving broken heart do when love is broken, given up, decayed, died? Love over strong inside, crushing to get out. Not out of love, love out to another. What do you do? Mistakes made, love still resides. To whom do you confide? The
Mm-hmm.
loving broken heart, seeking nothing to find. Surely there's someone somewhere. What does one do? Drifting on barren land, lost walking at sea, confusion, hurt, sadness, hostility. Oh, broken loving heart, love the time, experience, seek, find patience, overstanding, give thanks for knowledge, use it. Wisdom develops, producing overstanding. Now in the somewhat no, forgive yourself for your responsibility. Forgive others. Breathe in deep truth. Exhale falsehood. Renew the fresh and new. Start by loving you. You beautiful loving heart. Time, take, observe. Beauty you again, seeing everything. Sooner the one will appear. Loving heart say, dear, come here, near, closer. I need to know you more. I adore you, yes, so lovely. A handshake turns to a kiss. Hand, neck, face, lips. Grabbed, pulled in, let the loving begin. Loving heart, loving with all mind, body, and soul. Heart of loving, fulfilling its desired goal. To love.
Toy, you with us?
That's my
Okay, I'm in love. I'm in love.
Man,
I don't know who, but I'm in love. I'm in love right there, right? I'm in love.
Toy, you with a T? What's on your heart, sis? Come on, Toy.
yes, sir.
Toya.
Oh, I'm sorry you called on me. No, hey, hey, what better way to close than that? He just did it. He just dropped the mic. He just explained everything he was talking about on how it really supposed to be, not how we using it as.
Mm-hmm.
He just did that right there. And ain't no, he just dropped the mic. Ain't nothing we can do but close, man. I love y'all. Y'all are awesome. I want to thank the Lord and thank you, Raheem, for having this platform again. I
Praise
believe
God.
that deep down, these conversations, these intimate conversations
Mm.
and getting understanding are breaking the yokes, and it's giving people understanding. And I hope that it's opening up a door to bring in more people so we can get through and see past our differences, so we can empathize with each other and move on to the next intimate level, man. I love y'all.
Hey,
Can't
love you
wait
too,
till
sis.
Thursday. Y'all
Mm-hmm.
have a great day.
You likewise. Rico.
You know, Friday said something earlier about how scary it can be, you know what
Mm-hmm.
I'm saying, to be intimate with people, you know what I'm saying, open up and be vulnerable. to people, you know, and the main reason is because there's two prices. You can either have some exhilaration and relief, you know, of getting it off your chest or sharing it with somebody, or it can come back to bite you. And you can have the fear of the being exposed, having your secrets revealed. And so, you know, I mean, it could be a very scary thing for you to open up and make yourself vulnerable to exposing yourself to people, telling them things that may come back to work against you. You may share a business secret with somebody, but you have the fear of them using that same business to come take you out and crash your business or try to surpass you. Depends. So I mean, you know, there's you know, a thin line on intimacy. But you know, I'm glad that we had this conversation. You know, I tell people all the time that I've never been more intimate with anybody than I was my grandmother. That might sound crazy to somebody with a simple mind, but when you open up the mind and really think about what intimacy really means, then you'll get a better picture, you know, of somebody that I've revealed all my inner thoughts to, my secrets and my desires, even if it was just venting. So I mean, you know, we got to make sure we try not to put it in a box, you know. And I'm gonna go back and say this again before I end. Sex is not intimacy. Sex, well, I put it this way: intimacy is not sex, but sex is supposed to be intimate.
That's good. That's good, man. We got who I'm gonna go? Let me go to Tucson. I ain't heard from Tucson in a minute. What's on your heart, brother?
I had to laugh at my thoughts because I thought about how Jacob felt about Rachel and wind up with Taka Leah. Yeah. And anyway, good show, man. I'm just
Lord Jesus. Leonard, what's on your heart, brother?
Good show, man. Thanks to everybody for participating the way they have. And man, I just hope people understand how important it is relationships are. And we got to stop lying to one another and deceiving one another so much.
Yes.
And really take into consideration the benefit of telling the truth.
Absolutely.
You know,
Absolutely.
one of the ways I work to break addiction is by getting as much gratification from saying no as I used to from saying yes.
Exactly. That's good. That's good. Man, look at here, man. This has been a great guy. Friday, anything before we get out of here?
We covered it. We got it. We'll save the rest for sequel.
Exactly. VP?
No, no, I'm blessed, man. Thank you for another one.
Praise God. Praise God. Pete? Well, let me just do the anybody got anything?
Love, be love, and express love. That's what I have to say.
Gotcha.
And go out and seek that intimacy. If you're in a marriage, sit down with your mate and get it right. You'll be truly grateful.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
like anonymous.
Hey, Rico. Meet phone, Rico. Okay, good deal. Good deal. Now we're about to get out of here, man. Anybody got anything before we get out of here? Anybody got any closing remarks? Rico, what's going on at 3:00 today, brother? Are you available?
Yeah, if you missed today's show and would like to see it in its entirety, you can tune in at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on www.dkmmediagroup.com.
Good deal. Good deal. Friday, sister, can I get you to pray us out?
Absolutely. Dear Heavenly Father, we thank you for yet another day that you've allowed us to wake up into. We ask you, Father, to let your light so shine through us that others will be drawn closer to you. Not that they see us, dear God, but they see you in us. They see the fruits of the Spirit that we are striving to produce each day so that others can know that there is hope, that there is love, and that there is you. And Lord, as we go through our ways today, be with us until we return again. And though we're not going to be speaking on tomorrow in this forum, dear Heavenly Father, that doesn't mean that we can't talk to one another or reach out to those in our communities. Give us the strength to be able to do that, and the words through the Holy Spirit to just be able to say the right thing to the right person at the right time. We don't know what each other may be going through, dear Heavenly Father, but you know, and the Spirit knows, and that if we become open to you, God, you'll let us know how to interact with one another. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen. Cassandra,
Amen.
Cassandra, anything on your heart?
No, no, this has been beautiful. Thank you guys for the knowledge, the wisdom, and the understanding of what
Absolutely.
intimacy is.
Absolutely. It's been a great broadcast, y'all. I want to thank everybody. We might need to do. We might really need to do a follow up on this one right here. We might need to come back and knock on the door again on this one. But it is now 10:03. I want to thank everybody for joining us, and more than that, I want to thank you for allowing DKM Media Group and Associates and the Morning Glow for being a part of your morning. It is now 10:03. You're about to exit the Morning Glow, but before you go, I want you to do me two favors, if you will. One, I want you to continue to pray for us because we're certainly praying for each and every one of you. Number two, why this is real simple. I want you to go out there, find somebody, and give them a hug because you never know. It could be the only hug that they get, or it could very well be their last. Love you, and ain't nothing you can do about it. Have a great day and a better tomorrow. Now we shine some of this light on you from the morning glow. Take it out there into this wicked and cruel world that we live in, and let your light so shine. Get an opportunity, give somebody some love. You just might find some love in return. Won't that be a beautiful thing? Y'all have a great day. Take care of each other, and please be blessed.